So I have this little worm in my brain, and it usually takes the form of a song, but right now it's in the form of a dress. And the only way to get this worm out is to make it. So we're making this dress. Yeah. Oh yeah. My God. I've not been able to get this dress out of my brain. Yes, please. This dress is from a Broadway musical called Camelot. This is Julie Andrews, very young Julie Andrews. I don't really know a whole lot about the play. It was popular enough to leave Broadway, and it has like off-Broadway shoots, and there's also a movie based on the play. That's kind of like where my knowledge ends. I don't know much about it. I just know that this dress is everything, and I have to have it. So this dress is supposed to be a kirtle, which is a really old garment that was popular for a couple centuries. I believe it is a structural garment meant to like give support. And I do think it evolved and became a outer garment. I'm not really sure. I'm no historian. But if we take a closer look at the cut of this kirtle, we will see that this kirtle has an empire waistline, which I don't think any historical kirtle does. But this is a very 60s fashion design, the empire waist. So we can see how they got there. So we have an empire waist, princess seams here, and then 2 darts here. So I was at an estate sale a couple weeks ago, and I found these 2 fabrics, and that dress had been lodged in my mind. And so when I saw these 2, I was like, that. So I grabbed them, and we're gonna make our kirtle, man. I'm stoked about this. So we have the fabric, and we have our can-do attitude that verges on delusion. So I think we have what we need to get started. I also have some ribbon and some lace and a silhouette machine that we're gonna use to cut out all these flowers. So with that, let's start drafting this pattern, because I am ready to make this. I am so stoked. I'm so ready. Give me this dress. Isn't it so cool that you can just like see something and be like, I want that, and then you make it. It's like a superpower. Let's draft. This was not an easy pattern to draft, and I have to come back to the table a few times. But I first start by moving my bust dart down to the waist, roughly placing the neckline, which was not a great placement, you will see later. And then drawing out the empire waist. I didn't need to do anything to the bottom part of the bodice. Since the dart already split the piece into 2, we just need to add seam allowance. Not much is done to the back, we just turn the darts into princess seams. Okay, so I made the front of the top, and it's kind of all wrong, because the darts are supposed to go more like at an angle. So I did not, I got the hiccups, I'm sorry. I did not get that angle right. Does anybody else get the hiccups like a lot? Like I get the hiccups like, oh God, like once a week. And when I get them, they're like all day off and on. We're just gonna have to work around them. The underbust line is off, and the dart is off. The dart is supposed to go at like an angle. God. Oh. So I'm gonna redraw the underbust line. I want it to go like, okay, so we're just gonna bring it up just a little bit. And then we need this dart to be at an angle. God, I'm so sorry. So now I've redrawn this dart so it goes like this, and then this seam needs to come over here. These panels out like this. So here's our new excuse me, our new center front panel. Embarrassing. Our new center side panel, and don't need that anymore. And then we're just gonna cut where the dart should go, right there, which opens that up. So now we have our new dart placement. Okay, let's go back to the drafting table to make those changes, recut that out, and then I can try it on. I'm using the cut up pieces from the mock-up to retrace them and turn them into a pattern. That's it, it's that simple. I have a proper mock-up put together, and let's just say I can't move my hand out of the way. I need to bring the neckline up. There's something weird happening here. It's like folded in a strange way. The back is fine. Totally okay with the back, but I'm gonna have to reshape the front again. Let me try this one more time. If I have to do it again after this next one, I will cry and throw a fit. Just so we are all aware of what's gonna happen if this next one fails. There will be crying, there will be fit throwing. Let it be known. Let's try this again. Did it. It's the next day, and I bet you're wondering, Annie, did you cry and throw a fit and leave the room about your pattern because you messed it up? No, I didn't. Didn't cry. I just threw a fit. Kind of threw my pattern down and turned off the light and left the room and didn't think about it for like 2 days. What happened was, sewing this top half and the bottom half together, the seams weren't lining up. The seam down here wasn't lining up with the dart seams. And I spent a lot of time looking at the paper pattern and like kind of walking it and making sure that everything would line up correctly before I cut out the mock-up again. So when the seams didn't line up, and there was a gap, right? Like a good like inch-ish between them, I got pretty frustrated. Came back in here with a clear mind, fresh cup of coffee, and half a whole ass watermelon. Turns out I was trying to pin them together upside down. This piece was upside down and it's larger at the bottom than it is at the top. So it actually works perfectly. Look at this. Lines up great. Fits really well. Nothing wrong with it. So here we are. Sometimes you just need a break. But I just love to frustratedly bang my head against something until it works. Like a caveman. But now that we actually have a working pattern, let's get it cut out. We have the top half of the dress, but I know you're thinking, Annie, but what about the bottom? Don't worry. I'm using a kirtle pattern that I have. I used it for my fall witch back last year. I'm attaching the pattern that I just drafted, and I'm attaching it to the waist of the dress because my pattern ends at the waist, and then drawing out the rest of the skirt. These pieces were quite large. So we had to go goblin mode and cut them out on the floor. We need 2 layers for each piece, the darker blue, which is going to be the lining, and the lighter blue, which is the outer fabric. I'm also worried it's not going to be long enough, so I add about 4 inches to the bottom of all the pieces. Everything is cut out. One of these 2 fabrics is an absolute dream to work with. The other one is a total freaking nightmare, and I hate it. Can you guess? I think my grandmother had a muumuu made out of this exact material in this exact color. Kind of has the feel of a muumuu. The original plan was to sew both of these dresses separately and then attach them at the neckline so that there's a lining and they're both kind of like free flowing. But this fabric is like really slinky and really thin, and I just worry about its structural integrity to hold a zipper and hold the amount of flowers that we're going to be adding to it, because it doesn't seem like a lot, right? Like you're looking at all these flowers like, yeah, that's a lot of flowers, but they're just like fabric. How heavy could they be? It adds up. It does. It adds up. And I don't know. I just worry about it. It doesn't stretch. It does a little bit. See, and I just don't want it to pull. I'm gonna have to flatline all these pieces together, I think. Oh, I really don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna flatline them, but I am gonna sew them together. I'm just gonna use a lot of pins and prayers, I think. Pins and prayers. Let's see. I still need to make the sleeve, but I don't want to. But I don't want to right now. So I'm just gonna sew the dress together, and after I finish the dress, I'll make the sleeve. That's how I usually do things anyway. Let's start sewing. We have to take care of the darts first. Sew them down. With darts, you always want to start at the bottom And you never want to backstitch at the point of the dart. Instead, lift your needle and pull out a couple of inches of thread and tie that off. This will help your dart from getting a little too pointy at the ends. For the skirt, I carefully lay the outer fabric on top of the lining, taking the time to really smooth it out and then pin around the sides. Repeat this process again with the next piece and then pin those two pieces together. I'm using way more pins than I would normally use because this is my quote-unquote basting. And before I sew, I'm going to switch out my regular foot for a walking foot. This little guy has feed dogs. That is what you call the little teeth thing that moves the fabric under the needle. I think that's hilarious. This little guy has the feed dog. So with this foot, you have feed dogs on the top and the bottom, and you have a better chance of the layers moving evenly through the machine. These are invaluable when sewing velvet or any kind of slippery fabric. I love my walking foot. I love kirtles. Oh, they just feel regal to wear. Like I feel more like a princess in a kirtle than I do my ball gown. Like, what is that? Okay, so the bust is too tight, but I would let out some of the seams, but this top fabric is really kind of delicate and I think it will show. Like it'll show the little holes from where I unpicked it. So it's just gonna have to be tight. I'm okay with it. Just really squishing the boobies in a weird way though. And then this side got sewn perfectly. This side, see these ripples? So when I put in trim around the neck, I will kind of like smudge this around so that it's, actually I'm gonna pin this right now. Don't stop a puppy. Oh, that's better. Ta-da! My back hurts from being a floor goblin. All the pieces are like, they lay pretty flat, like there's no rippling between the layers, which means that I did a fairly good job not basting, not basting. The only part that got real messed up is the back around the zipper, and like, oh boy, that is just all kinds of messed up and sad and weird. But it's the back, so it's not any of my business. Also, I got blood on my dress. Stabbed myself with a pen and didn't realize I was bleeding. It's quite long. I did not need to add those 4 inches. In fact, it would be actually perfect if I hadn't added those 4 inches, so. We need sleeves. I don't want to do sleeves. I don't want to do sleeves. Why does it have sleeves? I want to do the flowers, but I can't start the flowers until I have the sleeves. It was upsetting. Looking at the image, we got a sleeve that goes to about the elbow, and then the light blue goes down and creates this little teardrop, and then the dark blue kind of continues down the wrist. You can tell in the image that she has a zipper on the sleeve right here, because you can't make sleeves form-fitting without some way to like get in and out of it. So you can tell that she has a zipper here. I'm assuming this is because it's a play and she would kind of need to like get in and out of her clothes fairly quickly. So you don't want to like be sitting there trying to do fiddly buttons. I think I'll just stick with buttons. I think. I haven't fully decided. You know what? It's probably buttons, because sewing in a zipper 2 more times sounds not fun. And then once we get the sleeves in, we can start doing the flowers and the trim. Yay! That's the fun part. Oh, look, my seams line up perfectly. Hold on. There we go. Look at that. Yeah. I really dislike sleeves. But here's the thing about sewing. I kind of dislike a lot of the parts about sewing, you know? I hate installing zippers. I hate setting sleeves. I hate basting. Cutting fabric out is annoying. Mostly, I kind of just like pattern drafting, like making the pattern, and then just sewing, like literally running 2 straight seams is like where I'm at on the things that I like about sewing. And then I like having a thing that I made is the real thing that like keeps me sewing. It's like I see this and I'm like, oh, I love this. So you kind of just like gotta do the other things to get to this. Sleeves, yay! So excited, let's make sleeves. I'm starting out with a shoulder from my favorite sleeve pattern, McCall's 6613. And by favorite, I mean the pattern that is within arm's reach and I know already has the sleeve cut out. Trace that and then measure out how long I want the upper part of the sleeve to be. Mark that on the pattern, measure how wide I want it to be. This would be so much easier if I had another set of arms. Mark that on the pattern, and now we have a top half. Next, I draft the fitted part of the bottom sleeve using the method of measuring and marking, but I add an extra ½ inch towards the wrist for an overlap for the buttons. Now it's time for the flowy bit, which I wasn't really sure how to do. I know how wide I need the top to be, but for the length, I use my measuring tape and a mirror, and then I just kind of draw out a shape using my reference. Fold that in half and cut it so that both sides are symmetrical. After cutting out all the pieces, it's time to put them all together. I cut out 4 of each of the flowy part of the sleeve and sew them right sides together. Clip the point and then turn them right sides out. We need to flatline the top part of the sleeve, so we pin them together and sew around the whole thing. Then take the top and bottom part of the sleeve and sew them into tubes. Time to put them all together. With the top half and the flowy bit right sides together, pin them all around, and then add in the bottom half wrong sides to right sides, which is a little confusing, I'm sorry. Now sew all those together. Pull the sleeve right side out, and voila! You have a 3-part sleeve. Have a sleeve. Looks pretty good, except it's a little too tight and also a little too short. Once I hem this, it's gonna sit like right there. Well, it's gonna look so silly. It's like high water, but for my wrist. So I think I need to remake them. I think this part is fine. I just need to add, and it's not even much, just like, maybe I don't even have to remake this part. When I sew it, just sew it with a 1/4 seam allowance instead of a half, because I think that's all I need. And then I need to add like 1 inch to this. Oh, I'm so sad. This was a good run, and I got a lot done today. I mean, I made a whole dang dress, plus 1 sleeve. Oh, but my back hurts. I think I'm done for today. Also, I'm very hungry. I'm making tacos. See you tomorrow. Look at this. I got a whole ass dress. 2 sleeves and everything. So the next thing we need to do is start with all the decorations on it. And I don't know if you've guessed, but like this trim around her neck, really hard to find something like that. So I made it. Here we have the trim. Yeah, pretty good, right? This is 3 different trims. We have this cute little trim that's got like the little holes in it. This probably has a name and I don't know it, but it's got the holes for ribbon. So I had sage ribbon and this trim, which was way too big, but it was the only one I could find that had this. So I just cut it in half. And then very carefully, ta-da! Now I gotta add it to the dress. So I do really like doing recreations, you know, taking an existing thing and then turning it into clothes. But I really like doing it more with something that is illustrated because there's more like leeway. There's more give to those because it's not a real thing. Unlike this dress, which is a real dress. Somebody really made this already. So it gets a little bit more difficult for me because it's like, I really want it to be perfect and exactly like that, but it's hard. And also, with this particular one, I don't know if this photo was a color photo or if it was a black and white photo that they later colorized. I think it might be the latter because I just suspect. Just a suspicion. I don't know how to tell the difference. I could probably look it up, but there's that extra layer of like difficult in there because I don't know if these colors are the true colors, but I guess it doesn't really matter because these are the colors that we have. But I've gone with sage colored ribbon instead of the like teal ribbon because this is why I think it's colorized, because the teal ribbon is the exact same color as the underdress part. So that, it makes me suspicious. Exact same shade. So I'm leaning towards it's a colorized image. And I wanted all the ribbons to be the same color, and the ribbons are in the bouquets. And so I just thought it would be better if it was green because, you know, flower stems are green and not teal. I'm talking in circles because I'm second guessing myself on this, but it's what I have, and it's too late to like go get new ribbon for this. We have to stay with the sage ribbon. So that's what we're doing. It's sage. I'm sorry. It doesn't match. I'm a little upset about it now. Also, I wasn't until I started talking, and now I am. Great. Great talk. Okay. Now I'm looking at this like, is it too thick? Now I'm thinking I want to go through and cut this ribbon down to be thinner and then redoing the whole thing. Another thing that bugs me that I can't do anything about is that these whites are not the same color white. This like even, yeah, this one has like a really blue tint to it, and this one is like not. So they're very, very different, which really bothers me. But again, it's what we have. It's what we got. There's no more we can do about it. So now I just have to decide if I want to remake this. I'm just gonna put this to the side because I'm being very indecisive about it. And I might make just like a small sample piece to see if I like it more than this. But since it's on the neck, it's not like important to the rest of the project. So we don't absolutely have to have it right now. We do need to start cutting out these flowers. Looking at the photo and doing some maths, because I'm English now, math has an S. There are roughly 24 bouquets on this dress. There are 5 that I can see in the front, so I assume that there's probably 5 in the back as well. And then there are some on the shoulders, and then there are 2 sets on either side of each sleeve. So there are 24 bouquets. There are 8 flowers in each bouquet, which is, quick math, 192. So we need 192 flowers, but double that because each flower has a blue flower behind it. So now we need 384. Was that right? Yeah, 384 flowers. Oh my God. What have I done? How am I gonna put these on? Man. I keep waffling. So what have I decided? Been talking for like 10 minutes and I've given myself a lot of choices. Have I decided anything? No, I haven't. We don't have to decide how we're putting the flowers on, but we do need to cut the flowers out. I'm gonna do this by tracing the flower on my iPad and then using that as like a stencil. Yeah, a little dark. Is it gonna get brighter? I tell you what, my friends, partially cloudy days ruin my life. Sun keeps coming in and out of the clouds, messes with my exposure, drives me crazy. I'm gonna turn this up. Better not psych me out. It's also a little blues. Now I'm gonna fix my temperature. As soon as I do this, the sun's gonna come right back out. I just know it. Okay, how I'm gonna make the flowers. I'm going to use my iPad and pencil and trace the flowers out and then use that as a template. I'm gonna use my silhouette machine because I have it and I haven't used it very much and that makes me sad. So I'm gonna use it because it will cut fabric. Next, the fabric, because I don't want the fabric to fray and I also want it to be a little stiff. So my first thought was to make starch and starch the fabric, but something easier would just be to use fusible interfacing. So I'm gonna use fusible interfacing and then that will keep the back from fraying because it should just like hold all the fibers together. Great. So that's what we're doing, that's where we're at. So let's start cutting out some flowers. The mats for my silhouette machine are 24 by 24. So I'm cutting that out of the fabric and then the interfacing and ironing those together. And then attach them to the mat and smooth them out with this little scrapey tool guy. I'm putting the fabric side down because the fabric is smoother than the interfacing and sticks to the mat better. Then I put that through the machine and let it do its thing. All I have to do is take them off the mat. I was working with 2 mats, so I got into a pretty good groove of setting up the next mat while the other one was cutting and then removing the flowers and then that again and again and again. So here's something funny. I really thought, like I believed with every fiber of my being that I was gonna be done with this dress today. completely 100% believed this within my soul. The dress looks exactly the same as it did when I showed it to you earlier. But now I have a skull full of flowers, which is a weird way to measure flowers, but feels accurate. Also, I made a little sample of the ribbon where I trimmed down the center one, and this looked so much better. So I'm remade the whole thing. But look, it looks a lot more like the original. It looks better. And I need for my sanity to believe that this is better. It is way better than this. This is garbage. This, masterpiece. So now I need to put that on the dress. And can I share something with you? Because I don't know if I'm losing my mind or this looks like a little boo-boo. But look at this. Look at this. Doesn't this look like a little, focus. Doesn't this look like a little boo-boo face? Do you see it? It's not just me, right? Really looks like a little boo-boo. So that's been my whole day. I've spent like a full work day just doing those things. And it feels like I haven't really accomplished anything. Oh, you know what I did accomplish? Let me show you. I accomplished ruining my iron cover. Because I had the interfacing upside down and ironed it on. Ironed it down really good. Really, really good. Fine. It's totally fine. I'm totally okay with this. Now my iron's really ugly. Not that this was cute, but it was cuter than what's over there. What do I need to do besides like cry in a corner? I'm gonna have to get Clara out. Take Ira off. Set her somewhere. Bring Clara over here and then I can start, I guess just gluing the flowers on because I am taking a shortcut and the easy way, but sue me. It'll still look cute. I do feel like I've lost the few brain cells I have left just working on this, making these flowers. Took way longer than I expected, but I guess it probably took a lot less time than it would have if I would have cut them out by hand though, so thank goodness for the silhouette. Somewhere around 200 flowers. Ready to be glued on. Hooray! First things first, I have to sew down the trim on the neckline and then I will see you down here to start gluing, I guess. Goodbye.
I did start on the floor, but quickly gave up and moved to the table. I lay down the flowers where I want them to be placed, and then cut the ribbon accordingly. And then I glue the ribbon down, and then glue the flowers down. And it goes on like this forever. Here's a time lapse for your enjoyment.
I have 3 bouquets done. So only like 20 something more to go. How did I think I was gonna finish this today? Oh my God. But this is the last thing we have to do and I might just be doing this for like the next 3 days. Oh my God, there's so many. Help me. When I started putting the flowers on, I was like, I don't know about this. Oh, but now that some of them are on, I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be so cute. Oh, I can't wait. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off camera because I think you get the gist. I could keep filming it, but it's not gonna be any different. It's just the same, another 20 something more times. I will save you from that. You're welcome. Got hot glue on my nails. But before we head to the reveal, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you guys to like, subscribe, and comment. To me, this dress was, have you seen those memes on Instagram where it has like this just like absolutely amazing dress and it says, it's just a dress, right? This is that dress for me. Like, it's just a dress. No, it's not. You don't understand. I dream about this dress. I saw it one time and was like, holy, I was done. Just like randomly came up on my Pinterest like years ago. So what is your, it's just a dress. I mean, I have more than this one. I have so many. But like, what is your like absolute top tier? It's just a dress. Another one of mine is Scarlett O'Hara's green drapery dress. Oh my God. So I have too many. I can't. I'm about to be here all day, like talking about all the dresses. Yeah, so let me know about what your It's Just a dress is, and let me know how you feel about my reimagining. No, I didn't reimagine it. I just made it. Recreating. Oh my God. Brain dead from all the monotonous little things I've had to do over and over again today. Now I'm lost. Recreation. Let me know how I did on this recreation. How you feel about it? Did I do it? Did I nail it? Please tell me I nailed it. Guys, I think this is gonna be a banger. I'm really excited about it, except I'm really excited for it to be finished. I'm not really excited to finish it. Big difference. Huge. Huge. Let me shut my trap. Let's get on to the reveal, shall we? Look what happened to my shoes. Oh no. These are the shoes I made for Thumbelina. I'm gonna have to remake these now. Maybe use a little bit of a stronger glue. I'm so hot. My range of motion on this dress is very slim. Can't go any higher than this. And it, like right here, that's as far as they go. Trying to situate my hair was really hard. So hot. My only real complaint about the dress is that the bust line, the empire waist here, is a little high, and I should have brought it down a smidge because it kind of bisects my boobies. And I could kind of like, yank them up, but they're just gonna get smushed back down again, so. But yeah, I love this dress. I would like to wear it to a Ren fair. So yeah, I think that's the plan, is to wear it to a Ren fair because it's so pretty. And then my partner mentioned maybe giving it to a high school drama projection, because I think I could easily take the zipper out and change it to a back lacing dress, and that way it would be more size accommodating, which I may do in the future. Not yet. I'm not ready to part with it yet because it's so pretty. It's so pretty. So I'm kind of like well in the way of my next video. Like I'm mostly done with it. So my office is kind of a wreck. It's Hobbit related, which my last Hobbit related video did not do well, but let me tell you, this one is more historical based, okay? So there's a lot of like 18th century garments in this next Hobbit video. So if that's your thing, please come back and watch it. Please come back and watch it. But that's it for me. I have to go before my battery dies. So I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye. Oh, I'm not talking to a mic. I should get a mic. Irritated with myself. Yeah. There's a pin on the floor. There's this really stupid Family Guy gag from like, I don't know, 20 years ago, where it's James Woods, and I don't remember the plot of the episode, but James Woods is following a trail of candy, so he goes, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. And it just like continues. Anyways, that's what I think of when I pick stuff off the floor. Ooh, it's a pen. Okay, well, goodbye.